Greetings and welcome back to the second session. We are understanding insurance and how it comes to help us build, create, and protect our wealth. In our previous session, we were diving into defining some of the aspects of insurance. In this show, we are concentrating on the various products that are available to help you achieve wealth creation for a better tomorrow through insurance. Welcome back, my guest. He's still on the show. Thank you for staying on the show.
Thank you, Jafet.
For a person who is of age, my grandfather, they don't have time for endowment and maybe personal pension schemes. Do you have a solution for them?
Yes, there are solutions for everyone. I believe for everyone.
Yes.
Insurance companies have investment arms that do invest the premiums that are collected as well. So you'll find either the insurance companies have become almost composite. They're working with other investment groups to offer solutions such as the money market. It's a very good vehicle that one can be able to use to put in their money in the short term or long term. It offers immediate liquidity in that in the event they need money in the shorter term, they're able to access their money. Money market has been there to give people a taste of directly investing in the treasury bills and bonds. So you can still enjoy the same benefits through the money market investment. So your grandpa, everyone who's a past or senior can still be able to invest. Even the younger ones can still be able to invest through that particular vehicle.
Mention something small about annuities.
Yes, annuities is a vehicle that has been there, that is purchased by individuals once they retire. So once they retire, they purchase a pension that guarantees them a certain recurring income past retirement. So once you get your lump sum, you're able to purchase this pension that gives you a recurring income. So it can be for life, it can be for a defined period, but it gives you that peace of mind that you will be getting this amount or income on a monthly basis. So it's a good vehicle that I'll encourage many people to actually purchase. I think that space is, we haven't embraced it as a society as much because many people have cash, they hold it either in assets, but at retirement you need liquidity, cash flow. And annuity offers that particular where you can be able to have a constant income coming every month. And actually, even for banks, let's say if you walk into a bank and they see that, yes, you've retired, but you're receiving the constant income, they're like, yes, you can be able to access that small facility because of that, yes. So insurance companies actually are the ones who offer these annuities. You can be able to purchase only through insurance companies.
Talk about the endowment funds and the education plans. I'll want us to look at it in two ways. On the education plans, the longevity, that it's there 20 years before you start benefiting, 80 years. The millennials, where I belong, they want real-time results. Put my money in, get it tomorrow, all that. Talk to me. What's your advice?
First of all, we need to demystify what's an endowment. So, because endowment is a solution that allows us two elements. First, it has a savings element and it has a protection. It's a vehicle that allows one to build up capital over time while it still offers you protection. Protection in terms of life cover. So in the event, as you're building capital, in the event of death or disability, it comes in. The risk component comes in to cushions you. There's an element of financial planning that I'll encourage millennials also to embark on. I think it's a gray area we've missed. I think through the education system, maybe we're not taught financial planning through when you're growing up. So how do you plan your money once you get it? Investment is more long term. If you're looking at investment, it's more long term. It's not short term. So for you to build capital, you have to look at a longer perspective. Short term, you can only do betting, where you want real time results.
Yeah.
But I'll encourage you go back to the basics. What does financial planning entail in terms of goal setting, budgeting, looking at debt management? It's a whole session that you need to look at. So longevity is one. You need to build capital through these vehicles. They also work within your budget. These plans allow you to work within your budget. Some offer you flexibility. You can be able to increase, start from a smaller premium in terms of contribution, and maybe you can be increasing the premiums annually. The endowment have a maturity, so they have a period of which you can be able to accumulate. So as you're looking at, some will have 20 years. If you have a longer term goal, some will give you up to 5 years. If you have a short term to medium term goal, or medium term, 10 years. So insurance has evolved over the years. Maybe the 90s and the 80s, 70s, people were only taking 20 years only. But nowadays, market has the underwriters have responded and come up with to address the millennium Gen Z solutions that can be able to address and get them to start planning. So endowment is just one aspect to save for me as an individual, but also education. An education plan, when you're looking at how the education structure is on a longer term. Once a child comes into play, how many years does it take for them to get to high school? We're looking at 13, 14 years. So at times we look at the fee structures for schools, some fee structures were reviewed actually. So government removing some subsidies. So you need to be, one of the best investment you can give your children is education. So you want to have adequate funds to be able to meet that objective. So starting an endowment plan, if you have a child, you can take one and start planning early. So goal-based endowment especially if you're looking at a child, what could be your goal? Is it to finance high school education? Is it to finance college education? Are you taking them to a local institution? Are you taking them abroad? Those are factors to look at, and the timeline. So timelines depends on one's goal. Even as you're doing your personal savings, having worked previously in the bank, common understanding has been you need what? A deposit.
Yes.
You need a deposit for your house, 10, 20% for your house. So when you're looking at that, where do you get that money from? Did you start building that fund over the years? So at times, immediately you start working, if you started putting something earlier, then raising that 10% becomes much, much easier. So longevity, I would encourage patience. One of the principles of investment is patience. So you allow your fund to grow over time to be able to build enough reserves.
On education plan, why not cover primary education?
Interesting. As I mentioned, depends on your goal. Every client who's coming into play has a different goal. They might be comfortable paying premiums. They might be able to cover the child's education in primary school comfortably. So they might want to look at funding high school and the college level. It's also possible to fund primary. If you are to fund primary, then it means you have to start early to build the fund for that. So maybe immediately the child comes to play, you need to have taken up the plan much earlier, so that maturity may be 5 years time or 6 years time. Then you're already getting the benefits out of it. You can take as many education plan. You're not limited to how many education plans you can be able to take. You can take one that funds primary level. You can take one that funds college level. You can take one that funds college level. So yes, you can be able to take. It all depends on different individuals' goals.
I had a friend who pulled out of an education plan, and the reason they pulled out is because they did their mathematics and said, if I put this money in a SACCO, it will give me a higher return. The SACCO does not have a restriction on the contributions. They are not going to terminate my policy because I didn't pay the contributions. An insurance company may stop the policy immediately I stop paying the contributions. How would you advise them? I didn't know what to tell them.
SACCOs are good vehicles. Insurance also is a good vehicle to build up. Now remember, there are different disciplines. SACCO serves a different purpose. It can help you save, one. It also pays out dividends. If they've declared profits, they'll pay dividends. And also it allows you to borrow from your savings. So it's a good vehicle to borrow, to use as well. We're looking at one element of investment is diversification. Looking to diversify your risk. What other risk might you face? There's risk of death. There's risk of disability. So an education vehicle serves that, takes care of that risk. So you can diversify, put some amount into the SACCO that you're saving, put some amount into an insurance that will take care of that, an eventuality. Because life, remember me saying, it's full of uncertainty. So you don't want death if it were to happen. The beneficiaries only get what is in the pool, nothing more. In insurance, they get life cover benefit plus, then all premiums will be waived. So insurance plays a vital role in terms of covering that risk of exposure. So I'll encourage them still to look at insurance as a vehicle to take care of diversification and to take care of a risk that can't be taken care of by a SACCO.
Yeah, and that one brings me to another thing I'm just putting my mind to, the issue of money market funds versus insurance long-term savings. And we've seen, the other day we were talking to the Capital Markets Authority and we were saying money market funds are being registered. A lot of people are moving in, and it might be an alternative for insurance. I don't know. That's where I come from. I don't know if that is your thinking. Are money markets overtaking the insurance solutions that are not money market? Of course, money market, most of them are done by insurance companies. But are they coming in to replace education plans, endowment funds, life covers? I don't know.
Interesting. A money market is an investment vehicle. The education plan, the endowments are protection solutions. They're good vehicles actually to build up for emergency funds. They're good vehicles for groups, organized groups, to put their money because they offer liquidity. At times we've seen the returns have also been attractive. That's why many people are coming in. But you also need a vehicle that also, because of one element, discipline. That is something that it won't offer. Because if you're looking at long term, if I was to access my money from the money market, it takes maybe 24 hours or 3 days. I'll have my money out. But if you're looking at long term, if I was accessing my money every 6 months, where am I in terms of building capital?
You're almost zero.
Almost zero.
Yeah.
But now, if you're looking at, they all serve different purposes. That's why we need to distinguish. They're both important, and they both serve different. It's a good way to diversify. Money market is a good way to diversify in the event of any emergency, you can be able to pull in money out within less than a week. And also, if you have capital, then you can be able to put it in a money market vehicle, because your money now is able to earn interest on a month-to-month basis or a daily basis. When you're looking at endowments, they're more long-term. They help you in a disciplined way to accumulate funds over a longer period. The only vehicle that can give you the discipline is endowment and long-term plans. But when you're looking at, it also offers you what is called protection. So protection in terms of, in the eventuality of death or disability, then if you have taken an education plan, all premiums become waived. And the insurance company now pays up all premiums until the child gets into college. So money market will only pay out what is there in that pool at that particular time. Here we're looking at different vehicles. They'll serve different purposes. Use your money market for emergency fund, for capital, where you have capital, but also build your capital through the endowment. Build it slowly. Make it 10 years, forget about it. You've budgeted. The best way actually to plan is through an endowment plan. Do a budgeting, budget your expenses, budget your debt, your lifestyle, and allocate an element of savings, and also for retirement benefit. So in 10 years time, once that endowment matures, you can be able to plow it in a bigger way into your money market and get much bigger returns. You can be able to do much bigger projects. But most of the time, if you're just depending on one vehicle, you run a bigger risk, I guess.
Good. What is the best duration that you can advise somebody to do an education plan or an endowment fund? What time best offers best returns?
That's an interesting question. Remember, we're looking at these plans are tailor-made based on clients' objectives. First of all, you have a goal. Goal is either you want to build funds or capital for a particular objective. Maybe it's to buy a future house. So most of the units you're looking at require a 10%. So if you're looking on average, then you need maybe 1.5 or a million. So you can take an endowment plan that gives you that maturity in a million. So when you go back to purchasing that endowment plan, you can look at, they can work backwards for you and tell you how much do you need to contribute today
to get that.
So that one will tell you maybe in 10 years, in 10 years time, I'll need to put in X amount to realize the million. If I was to take for 5 years, I'll need to put X amount. So that will will be pegged based on your budget, your sources of income. That will what you do. Now, when you're looking at education, you're looking at the goal. When do you want to finance the education? Is it for high school? Is it primary level? Is it college? So that will determine the period duration you want to take, and also the institution you target to take your child can determine the premium you'll pay. So the duration and time is all pegged based on. So it's custom made to fit the client. So there's no, I can't say there's a specific time that I can pinpoint to, but again, it all depends. It can be tailored to meet client's expectation.
Is doing a life cover relocating my grave closer?
Interesting. Life cover is an estate planning tool.
Yes.
So you want to cushion your people. You're not really. I know from we have this belief that if I purchase this, I'm going, or people will take me. But ideally, you're looking at the people are depending on you. You've given them this type of lifestyle. They're used to this type of lifestyle. What happens if you're normal? lifestyle stops. If you have siblings, those people have to move to your siblings. Their lifestyle changes. If your siblings can be able to afford them the same lifestyle, maybe you're lucky. But if they're not, they have to downgrade.
Yeah.
So life cover just cushions your people against to give financial stability, to give immediate liquidity, and that they can be able to sustain the same lifestyle for a longer period of time. So they don't have to abruptly. I'm sure you've seen scenarios where the main breadwinner passes on, and immediately it's evident. Like even for senior politicians, when you see a senior politician has passed on, and immediately you see things have changed. Why? Did they have adequate life cover to take care of, to have their dependents sustained? So I can say it's a cover that has been widely embraced in a developed market. It's only that we need to look at it as a financial asset that not only is part of the estate planning, but is also to ensure you leave a legacy for your loved ones. That's why I think we've seen that happens in different communities, even developed ones.
My employer has a group life cover for me. Do I need to do one that is separate from that?
Group life is a benefit passed on by the employer. And many employers do take that, give that as a benefit, as long as you're contractually, you have a contractual agreement. So you're employed with this organization. What happens if I move organization? I start my own business. Am I on cover? I can't still enjoy the same benefit.
Yes.
Because I'm not on contractual agreement with the employer. So it's important to us, actually, as an individual, to have one, to have an individual life cover. The earlier you take it when you're younger, the cheaper it is, because normally they're age-based. So the younger you are, the cheaper it is. And life cover serves many benefits, just apart from just paying out to the dependents. There are clients who walk into a bank to purchase property. The first thing the bank wants to know, are we safe? So they'll ask you to get a life cover.
Yes.
So, so you'll go back still to the insurer.
Yeah.
You have to purchase because of that. So if you had a life cover, there's an arrangement where you can assign the benefits to the bank. So you don't have to take a life cover later in life that might be maybe expensive. But if you acquired it much earlier, then it's much easier. It facilitates an easier process if you're doing other things, like asset purchase or something like that. So, yes.
Good. So the question of premiums, of course, you only have a plan. It can only work for you if you have premiums to pay. So are these plans for the rich?
Policies, they're not for the rich. Anyone can be able to purchase a cover. Anyone can be able to purchase life cover. Premiums are much affordable. Depends on the benefit you wish to enjoy. You can buy a cover for as low as 500 shillings, last expense cover. You can be able to purchase a cover for 1,000 shillings. You can be able to purchase multiple covers, even as your income increases with time. There's no limitation in terms of how much cover you can be able to purchase. So covers can be purchased even with the hustler.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is the end of the second session. We were getting to understand the various products, the various solutions that you can run to in order to start saving right now, in order to start building the wealth right now, in order to start protecting the wealth, and in order to leave a legacy as my guest has just mentioned. Should you have any questions on the solutions and the products we have discussed, be sure to drop them at the comment section, or you can also reach out to us via email or the phone with the contacts that have been provided here under. Should you want to also talk to our guest, we can connect you to him.